And Cynthia joins us via Skype from Wayland, Massachusetts to talk about her book. I love this title, Piccolo, the Big Old Cat. Cynthia, thank you so much for being with us. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Hey, we're thrilled to have you as we discuss weather here on This Is the Day today.
I remember when Bob came up.
See, now I could talk to you because they're making fun of me here. But you and Jason would probably remember Bob, right?
He was a baby.
He was just a little baby. Okay, Jason's her son. Well, your experience as an educator and guidance counselor gave you a great lens to see what students are facing. What motivated you, and did that motivate you to write a book about navigating awkward situations?
My situations with students at the high school level and middle school as a school counselor definitely motivated me to write this book. I've helped many students navigate through various difficulties, various difficult situations in their lives, but one that I consider to be a particular challenge and often underestimated is the impact of enrolling in a new school for students. While many kids make that transition smoothly, for others it is a challenge. And as a new kid, like the main character in my book, Monique, students who perceive themselves as being different in any way adds to their lack of self-confidence, which could make them vulnerable to bullies, subsequently leading to more problems. One of the worries that students have is fitting in socially. In my experiences, sometimes there were students who just didn't know what interested them, so it was really important to advocate for these kids to help them find their place. These experiences absolutely motivated me to write this book and informed a lot of the strategies and situations included in the book. But the real inspiration for it was a true life experience with my real life dog Piccolo and his encounter with the big old cat.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And Cynthia, I really thank you for writing this book. You know, as someone who has been bullied when I was younger, and even with, my younger cousins, they're going through the same thing. I really, really appreciate it. And, in the book, the main character is a 5th grader named Monique, who's inspired by a dog, Piccolo, as you mentioned, and a cat, Bertha. Can animals be a source of comfort and confidence for children, especially those who are going through bullying?
Sure, absolutely. I worked primarily at all-girls Catholic independent schools. So every year the classes were filled with new girls who didn't know each other. So one of the activities I did with them was to use an icebreaker for them to talk about their pets. And that always got them to interact and share stories. They would take out their phone and show pictures and tell all sorts of stories about their pets. And if they didn't have one, they would talk about a pet that they knew, or if they could, what they would have if they could have a pet. So you see even the most shy and withdrawn kids open up. So I do really feel that pets can bring a great comfort to kids and give them something that they can easily talk about so they can relate to their peers more easily. I think we can really learn a lot from our pets, as we see with Monique as she navigates her way through a very challenging school year.
I have to tell you, so my daughter is teaching her first year starting in September as a teacher, and I always take things away from interviews. I'm going to tell her about this pet thing and tell her that she should, talk about pets with her kids.
It's amazing the energy that I had in the classroom with these kids. It was really something. They just really opened up, and they were just, so excited, and they got to know each other that way.
And now, so for Monique, unfortunately, she gets picked on because of her stutter. And, the new school, as we talked about. And these are situations that many kids face. I was surprised when you just told me about your experiences. How can we empower kids to seek out advocates and to be advocates for themselves?
Sure. My experiences with students prove time and time again that the best way to advocate for kids and to have them develop their own self-advocacy skills is to get them involved in extracurricular activities. I particularly saw girls grow from being shy and withdrawn to articulate and self-confident through their involvement in the theater and performing arts department, which is why I chose this as the place to be, where Monique finds her voice and Abigail, the class bully, finds her interest, which is life-changing for her.
And what are some of the challenges that school children face today that you've seen, Cynthia?
I haven't been in the classroom for a couple of years, but I do think that it's still, bullying and fitting in and just making sure that they can find their voice, that they know who they are. And I think that schools really lend an opportunity for kids to learn to empower themselves by getting involved with different activities.
Now, as a teacher and counselor, I have a question, Cynthia, about bullies, because they're picking on these kids. But don't they sometimes have some issues themselves of where their lives are difficult, and this is unfortunately their outlet?
They absolutely do, and I think that's in Piccolo and the Big Old Cat. You see that with the class bully Abigail later in the book, that she actually does have problems at home. But as Monique's mother tells her, that's never an excuse for bullying. So we have to empower those children to really not succumb to their aggression, so that they that they will find their own voice and not give in to the bully.
And Cynthia, again, thank you so much for this beautiful resource in this book. And again, this book is targeted for kids ages 9 to 12. How can people get their own copy and follow the work you're doing?
The book is written for kids in the 9 through 12 age range, but it really is applicable for any student, parent, or teacher who is helping kids build a strong voice in the face of adversity. The essence of my book is to help children understand bullying and to also teach them the concept of empathy. I believe that when children read a story that they can relate to, they can get the message. Piccolo and the Big Old Cat is available on Amazon in paperback, and an ebook version will be coming pretty soon. And I'm also working on a workbook that can guide discussions and lesson plans for the topics covered in the book. Well, and I also I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
And I also encourage everyone to visit Piccolo and the Big Old Cat Facebook page. I would like to hear from readers about their experiences with the book and any thoughts they have on bullying, stuttering, building a strong voice, or anything else that is pertinent to the themes in the book.
Well, Bishop Reed sends his best. He could not be with us today. He's off to a retreat. I know he would have loved to have spoken with you, being a former parishioner of his.
Yes, yes. Well, maybe sometime we'll be able to catch up again.
Well, so glad to have you on the show. Appreciate all you do. Best of luck with the book. And Jason, I know you're back there somewhere. Thanks for setting up the Skype. Jason, pop in there so everyone can see, Cynthia's dear son. There he is. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.